The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
And folks, to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting here live at Right to Offend Media Studios in South Florida. Joining me here tonight is Max Sand and Mortheous, as always. Apologies for the, delay in programming. I had to exercise demons from my router box, and more has to go to the moon sometimes, and I have to go fight demons.
You have to talk to the machine spirits.
Yeah, I had to go
incense and some prayers to the God Emperor of mankind in order for the router to work. We all have to do that on occasion, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it just so happened that it picked Showtime to, one offering, which is not very convenient. I keep telling them, you can do it the day before, you can do it the day after, but don't. You
can't tell them what to do. You just have to try and appease them.
Well, that was my mistake.
You have to put the incense and the offering on the altar in front of the router, and you have to go, turn it off and on again.
You have to put the fries in the bag.
Yeah, it was a whole.
My wife's looking at me, but let me tell you something. That's what boomers think I'm doing, right? Is they think I'm doing some arcane fucking ritual on their computer, and it's like, so I might as well come up with some Gregorian chants for it, like like, have you tried using the other browser besides Chrome?
Yeah, and then when you do fix it, they think you're like Jesus. They think you're like Jesus or one of the apostles or something like that. It's amazing. It's amazing. You go from like mere mortal to like superhero status just because you help them with their emails.
Holy Spirit, stop downloading porn. Amen. This is the magic you deal with boomers, right? You have to because they don't understand technology so good,
Stop clicking links.
Oh my God. Well, stop clicking links in emails just because it looks like fucking Netflix or Comcast. It's a phishing site. Please stop. Please stop.
Well, also, stop putting your routers in closets too, guys. This is another thing, right? Because, router boxes, they are computers, and so they do need, space to, vent.
They need to breathe.
Yeah, they need to breathe.
And this is why Hillary Clinton, not being a complete tech boomer, put hers in the bathroom.
What? Well, there's that. Well, she needed quick access.
She also took cameras to do that.
She's like, I know which room in my house has the proper ventilation for my fucking server. It's my bathroom, because you don't want to be smelling Hillary's bathroom, let me tell you.
Oh God!
I don't want to smell anything of Hillary's.
Yeah, it smells like brimstone and sulfur, Sam.
Yeah, I don't want to know what her bathroom looks like, or Bill's for that matter.
Because they use separate bathrooms.
Well, I mean, they have They have to, right? I mean, where else is Bill gonna keep his, X-rated DVD collection?
Also,
Right
like,
next to Hillary server room.
have you seen him lately with his full-blown AIDS? He needs space to, like, have all of his equipment that keeps him alive. It's really hard to be alive without a soul.
Yeah, well, I mean, Trump's in power, so they can't get their adrenochrome.
Remember that time that he killed a guy, Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Which guy?
Which one? That's the question.
I got a top 10 list, Sam. This one's gonna maybe cause me some. It's the top 10 people that pissed my wife off, causing her to rant.
Yeah, well, let's do that while I'm getting tonight's
Hashtag Max
story
Sand
up.
rant.
Yeah, let's cue that up. Tonight's top 10, brought to you by Mr. Max Sand. Take it away.
All right, tonight you can hear me. Yes, I did this so that we can have maybe a back and forth type reaction. And she's here, and I want to see what she thinks of this list. This list was written by laid off USAID workers. Laid off USAID workers. And this is the top 10 people that pissed my wife Maxine off enough to rant. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Number 10, Pissy Chrissy.
Come on.
Nah, you bullied the shit out of her. We all heard.
Dude, come on.
All right. Maybe that's a little too personal. Number 9, Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's legit.
Because you used to really like her in her movies. And, like, the thing about her movies, they were always known for being, like, anti-racist, right? So it's definitely weird to see her as a racist like she is now, right? Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people don't like her.
Well, that's what happens when you
It's
go
word
on-
for fucking.
Yeah. She picked a name for herself that means to fuck.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird, even when I was a kid. I'm like, once I figured out what that, was, I'm like, why would you, somebody name their kid that?
Also,
Who is
why
this Goldberg that they're fucking?
if she's not gonna if she's not converting to Judaism, it seems a strange thing to do to pick Goldberg. It's like the most Jewish last name there is, I thought she was Jewish, Sam. It turns out she is.
No, yeah, I actually thought that she was Jewish too for a long time. Seriously.
I think that's why she did it. Maybe it's a good way into Hollywood. Never mind. Number 8, quote, that Megamind looking motherfucker, to which I mean Ludwig Kaiser from WWE Raw.
That dude.
She's disliked him every time she's ever seen him, but she's especially mad now because he beat Penta in a
Dude. Yeah, fuck that motherfucking shit. That guy in no way fucking shape or form should fucking beat Penta. Penta can whoop his ass on his worst day, okay? And that Megamind looking motherfucker can't fucking fight his way out of a paper bag. He cheats or has somebody else do something so that he can get good. And he ain't good. Penta is better than him. Penta should have won. Fuck Megamind.
To be fair, he didn't cheat. It was no disqualification.
What the fuck
Also, throwing the other guy out of the ring and taking the fall is completely legal in any match.
Yeah.
Number 7, Max Sand.
Yeah, if you weren't
Only number 7?
Only number 7. See, I would have put myself at least number.
Fuck else is on the list.
What pisses you off more than me, you say?
Yeah.
Number 6, Sarah Gilbert.
Yeah. Fuck that bitch. Fuck her for fucking killing Darlene. Because whatever the fuck she is now on whatever the fuck they name that show now. Come. That is not fucking Darlene. Darlene is fucking dead. Dude, Darlene was a fucking like model of mine when I was fucking growing up because I loved watching Roseanne. Of course I did. That fucking was me, except I wasn't as fucking emo as she was. But she fucking killed her. And not only, I fully fucking think that she's the reason Roseanne got kicked off the show, and that they killed Roseanne the way that it
Well,
did.
she
So
took
she can
Roseanne's
suck a fat
executive
dick.
producer role.
Yeah, so she can suck a fat.
Well, there you have it. That was Sarah Gilbert at number 6. Number 5, Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big shout out to my boy Dirty.
Shut the fuck up. That
He
fucking
became-
Is Liv Morgan next?
cheats every second he gets. His dick follows the fucking belt wherever it is. Dude, whoever fucking gets that belt next, guarantee you, he gonna be there being all like puppy like, what do you want me to do? And it's like, shut the fuck.
Especially if it's number 4,
Dude.
Nia Jax.
Yeah,
See,
fuck her.
it's at least half wrestler, Sam, because she get really mad.
Nia Jax cannot fucking wrestle, all right? She sucks. She hurts people. She dresses herself to look like a fucking stuffed sausage, which is an insult to big women everywhere, especially the bigger women that came before her that fucking looked good in how they dressed and how they wrestled. And she looks like a fucking... She's not good. She sucks. I don't give a shit if she's related to The Rock. She sucks. And nobody on that roster fucking likes her as the female because you know they don't. A week before her thing. Fuck that fat ass bitch.
This is a good list, Sam. From strength to strength. Number 3, Melanie
You know what? Fuck her. No. Already said way too many nasty shit.
Hold on. I would like to say something on that real quick.
Oh.
This is partially Mortheous' fault.
Mortheous.
What the fuck did I do?
It's more like what you did. It's more like what you didn't do. So
What? Huh? What?
What? I didn't give her a fucking child?
exactly.
I knew exactly where Sam was going with that.
Let's move on.
Number 2, because yeah, there's 2 she doesn't like more than Melanie Mac by this list's estimation. Number 2, I'm going to try and get this correct, Sam. It's Cynthia Erivo, star of the new upcoming Wicked.
Her.
Wait. No, you want to know what this fucking black, bald fucking bitch is? Oh, you're trying to erase me by making me green. You're fucking Elphaba, you dumb ass bitch. She's green, you fucker, from the elixir that the guy gave her mother when she was pregnant. You fucking dumbass bitch. Okay, not only that, this fucking bitch is going to be Jesus Christ in Jesus Christ Superstar. Fuck you all the way through all 7 circles of fucking hell.
Is that
Fuck you.
Is that actually real? I thought that
Yes.
was.
Sam, I was so fucking upset about this. I cried. It pissed me off so fucking bad hearing about this because Jesus Christ Superstar was my father's favorite fucking movie. He had me watch it with him all the time. We fucking sang the songs together. Like, it means a lot to me, not just because of my faith, but because of my dad. And this fucking bitch that doesn't even know a fucking goddamn thing about Wicked to get fucking Elphaba, which she did not deserve, is gonna be Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me?
And she's an atheist.
Fuck her all the fucking way through hell to whatever the fuck is past hell, and she stays there and burns for all eternity.
Now,
okay?
can I point something out? Now, it's not because she's black playing Jesus, because we watched an all-black production of Jesus on TV.
And that was fine. That was great. You know,
Yeah.
whatever. She's a woman.
Yeah.
Point blank.
And she doesn't...
And supposedly she's not going to take on any of her piercings or anything. So
Right.
seriously, she can fuck herself. Which I'm sure she already does. Or Ariana does it for her. Because apparently they're dating.
Gross.
Hold on, can I get? That was a great rant and deserves a round of applause.
But that's number 2, Sam. There's one more. We're going to run it back. Top 10 people that piss my wife Maxine off enough to rant. Number 10, Pissy Chrissy. Number 9, Whoopi Goldberg. Number 8, that Megamind looking motherfucker Ludwig Kaiser.
Fuck you.
Number 7, Max Sand.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 6, Sarah Gilbert. Number 5, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Number 4, the refrigerator, Nia Jax.
Suck a dick.
Number 3, that one hoe on the internet, Melanie Mack.
Learn how to contour your face.
Number 2, just a gross person, Cynthia Erivo. The number 1 person that pisses my wife off is Liv Morgan.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm sorry, wait, hold on. 3-time
Shut
women's tag
shut
team
the
champion
fuck.
and
That
4-time
was- That was such motherfucking goddamn bullshit. Fucking Dom interfered multiple times. Fuck. That was bullshit. There's no way that they should have won that. Like, fuck, Liv. God fucking damn you. I was having a chill day, a chill night. Now I'm fucking pissed off. Thanks a lot.
So
As soon as Liv wasn't right after Dom, you knew Liv was number 1.
that's true.
You're
I
welcome.
had a feeling.
No, I mean Liv was definitely number 1. You should have seen how mad she was after that match on Raw, man. she was heated. Raquel Gonzalez just doesn't make the list, except if you put her and Liv together, I think they might still be number 1.
Fuck off.
So there you go, Sam. Top 10 things. Maybe I'm in trouble. Anyway.
Yeah, you're about to be number 1 on that list if you're not careful there, Max. But
Bullet.
I was trying to make myself jump up a few spots, you know.
anyway, I think putting Liv Morgan number 1 above the Jesus Christ imposter, I think that's a little harsh. But
It's been a longer term problem. She's been mad about Liv Morgan for almost a year.
Yeah.
Only a year?
Well, she didn't like to be fair, Liv Morgan was a babyface before that.
Yes.
And you know who she hated in the place of her? Rhea Ripley, who's now her favorite.
She's the goth girl I aspire.
Right. So you can move up and down the list a little.
Liv Morgan?
I don't know. I don't think Liv is cut out to be a babyface considering her run as.
I will say that.
Hold on, I gotta switch the thing if you want to be heard. Hold on.
I mean.
All right, I will say this. As far as watching it as like the viewer, the fucking hate Liv Morgan. Suck a fat dick. Probably already does. Thought it was hilarious when she got fucking smashed upside the head and thought it was bleeding. I was concerned for her. I'm very glad to know that she was okay. I was genuinely concerned like that. And that's taking it to as the viewer that realizes that this is a work, that this is entertainment and stuff like that. Liv Morgan is very gifted and talented to be a heel. She is fucking good. And I think they should keep her as a heel. I think that would be the best thing for her and maybe just kind of evolve it to the mean girl that she is. But I think that is the perfect track for her. She's so good at it. She really is. Like, she's the perfect mean girl. Because there's always going to be people that love her because some of the things that she does, they're going to be like, oh, it's not that bad. And then there's people like me where it's like, you're fucking poser, fuck you, I hate you, shit like that. She's good. She needs to be a heel for a long time. She can't be a babyface again. I kind of feel the same thing with Alexa Bliss. Her coming back, I don't know. It's like fence with me, with her.
She can't. Alexa can't ever be.
You think that being with them, she definitely will be babyface.
Even if she doesn't.
You know what? Yeah, she should be babyface.
Even if she doesn't hook up with the Wyatt family stuff, I don't think that people will boo her ever again. It's Alexa Bliss. But that's just that's my take.
Show with you.
Well, she has what all these wrestling podcasters are looking for, which is like the normie opinion on it.
Right.
And then none of them have it. I'll be watching these British guys and they're all like, they hate everything that we like. You know what I mean? And they think AEW is great television and WWE sucks. And I'm like, well, then why are 5 million people watching one and 500,000 watching the other, bro? Maybe you just don't get what the normal people who watch wrestling like in AEW, and maybe WWE gets it a little more now than they did 5 years ago.
Because why?
Weird? No way.
The whole fucking internet wrestling is a bunch of soy boy Brits. It's weird, man.
Yeah, one of them actually. I'm glad you brought that up because one of them was harassing a friend of show, Dashy Will.
Yeah, man, we put that motherfucker in his place too.
Yeah, like he was being like, and then he was like harassing both Mort and I a bit too, and like making unironic like cripple jokes, which like I wasn't even offended by.
No,
But it's like
if you're gonna make fun of me, don't go after the low hanging.
He had lame cripple jokes, Sam. His sense of humor is what was crippled.
Yeah.
Facts.
Not you. It was his sense of humor. Anyway, yeah, he went after. He said Nash has to have opinions because he's black. Fuck you, bro. Dude. Oh yeah, you're gonna tell black people they have to have an opinion.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's policing. He's like, and I was just waiting for, when he finds out he's also bisexual, is that going to mean anything either? Look, you don't get to police people's political opinions because of their quote unquote identity. And if you don't fucking realize that, you are a racist. That's why I called that guy a racist. I said he was a racist. Yeah. That is racist.
Yeah, well, and he's also ableist too. I mean, Mort and I, at least I've dealt with that shit really not as much now, but like back in 2016, really, like I will say this.
I deal with it every time that I don't go along with the collectivist gamer opinion.
I was gonna say, did either of you guys get this before like 2016, or even I want to say 2014, like the rise of woke when it kind of first started? Did you get it ever before that? Because they're the racists, they're the ableists, they're the fucking homophobes, all that fucking shit that they throw on everybody else.
Because they want to throw everybody in little fucking boxes, and heaven fucking forbid people leave their box.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a little bit like in 2012 because I liked Andrew Breitbart, but like it wasn't like it was in 2014 to 2020 was when it really like escalated.
Like I remember growing up, we had wheelchair kids, you guys have even mentioned, you Sam mentioned in the Scouts, like they're not going to leave you behind and stuff. We had a guy like that too, of course. So like the mentality, the whole mindset of how you deal with somebody in a wheelchair has fundamentally changed in the last 10 years. When it's the fucking boys, right? You might be the wheelchair guy, but when it's the outside world, you're one of the guys.
Sure.
Just like when it's the boys, you might be the fat guy or the funny guy, right? The wheelchair guy. Yeah, we gotta help him out sometimes, right? Because he's one of us. Versus their mentality, which is like basically that you're stupid. I've seen them talk to you guys like you're stupid.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you talking about?
Get roasted.
Yeah, they do too. It's hilarious. But they're doing that to our friend, telling him he's got to have opinions because he's black. It's like, that is literally the definition in my book of racist.
It is.
Facts.
And I'm sick of us not being able to call out their racism because they're like, well, you can't be racist to da 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 da. Yeah, we all know what this is. You tell people that because of your race that you have to act, look, feel, think a certain way. That's fucking racism. Period.
Yeah, I mean,
and if you don't think it's racism, you're fucking stupid. Yeah,
he's just that funny guy.
End of story.
He's our bro. What the fuck?
Yeah. I will say that the fact that he is a Trump supporter makes talking about certain things with him in DMs like a lot easier. I feel like I can I feel like I can DM him some questions and just kind of be like a little more upfront as opposed to some, one who I might not know their politics as well. That definitely helps, but it's not like the deciding,
Yeah.
factor.
It's just, they codified this, blatant racism and these blatant, like, just very toxic ideas for so long. And then we've now seen that U.S. aid through the media and through all of these money pots was propping all of this garbage up, and nobody really believed it. And you can see that, Sam, in the one particular thing I'll point to is the popularity of some Trump policies individually. Obviously, deporting criminal illegals is like 82% right now, 81% popular, favorable. Next down the list, okay, is preserving women's sports and preventing men or transgender women from playing in women's sports. That's at 76%. That means 3/4 of the country say, yeah, we should do that. This is not the fucking hill for them to die on. And people feel like that about a lot of the identity politics shit. And now they just feel like they can say it because for the last however many years, we have felt that we couldn't say fucking boo to a goose without getting banned by the whole internet or canceled. Maybe you'll lose your job. All this fucking shit. Attacked in public by these crazed Antifa people, and everybody just thinks this is normal.
Speaking of people losing their jobs, though, Max, did you hear that our good buddy, Mr. Boss Hogg, apparently he, shortest DNC vice chair tenure ever, apparently.
Yeah, because Boss Hogg couldn't keep his stubby nose out of the fucking pig trough, eating up all the money. Which is the one thing Democrats cannot have right now. They're going,
well, so here's the thing, Democrats. Like, if you guys weren't doubling down on all this woke stuff, you might actually, like, win. But the thing with it is Shmuley predicted this, by the way. I want to give a shout out to Shmuley here because he predicted that the Democrats would just continue to go down this niche social justice path, and that they wouldn't learn from their mistakes.
James Carville this week said that the strategy should be for the Dems to literally just give up until the midterms.
Yeah.
Or until Trump's favorability dips below 30% is specifically what he said. And then it.
Yeah, but at this rate, I don't see that happening, dude.
They're not going to listen to him anyway.
No.
So it's interesting to see where the Democrats are at, but I did want to touch on the David Hogg thing just because I don't think we explained. What David Hogg is accused of is using the DNC's email list that they keep, the donor list, for his own personal charity. Immediately upon taking vice chair, he sent out millions of emails through that donor list to solicit donations for his personal charity.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is true. I've read
allegedly. I don't I've only seen reports. I have not seen the evidence. This is what's being accused. I don't want to say something wrong. I'm sorry, Sam.
I don't know if this is true either. But I read somewhere that might actually be illegal for him to do.
It's questionable.
Very questionable.
Certainly charges could be brought. Would he be convicted? I'm not sure. But it's definitely unethical. To me, it's every bit as disgusting as if he had done let's say a meme coin. It's the same thing. If he had taken the DNC donor list and done a meme coin with it, whatever you're doing, you're not raising money for the party that you just got elected the vice chairman of.
Yep.
Right.
Well, there are more videos that have come out too that I've seen that, if these videos are legit, they kind of show the fact that he wasn't even at the school
when he heard the sirens.
Yeah.
And he talked to the media. You can see he says that in the original interview the day of. So it's not even I don't think questionable. No, he was not He was not involved with the shooting in any way, whether a victim, a perpetrator, nothing, right? He was not there that day. He showed up afterwards as a student, gave his perspective to the... Also, his family, this is something a lot of people don't know, his family already had connections in media. He was guaranteed to have a media career as soon as that shooting happened.
Yeah,
all he had to do was peddle his last to the school and get on TV.
For the families,
in my eyes, of those students, yeah.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I said the same thing way back when it first happened, because
to try and scam the DNC's donors. Good job. See, we knew the boss hog was a mistake from the moment he fucking did it. We compared him literally to the most incompetent character in media history. Not just because his name. Look at a fucking clip of Boss Hogg and look at David Hogg, anything he's ever said. It's literally the same. It's like, what an idiot. Don't you see what's going on, dude? Like, that's why I made that compare. It's funnier that his name is the same, but it's even funnier if he had a completely different name. It would still be an apt comparison to how he acted. Golly, Roscoe, how are we gonna defraud all of the DNC donors? I don't know, Boss Hogg. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna send an email. And then they're like, oh shit, them old Doge boys is at it again.
The big balls.
You just see Elon and a bunch of Zoomers jumping over a fucking ramp, and it's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Never mind. These are the things that go through my head, Sam.
No, mine too. Mine too, actually. Also, my Bob watched the speech with Elon in the Oval Office, where his son X is in the Oval Office too.
Blowing snots everywhere, especially on his dad's head. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Well, yeah, and she also thought it was hilarious that, like, the X was basically like making faces at the president too, and that, like, Trump was just like kind of playing along.
The best moment is where the little kid walks up to the desk and he looks at the president and he says, "Let's get out of here." And Trump was like, yeah, you know what? We've had enough time. He's just like, yeah, that kid's right.
That kid is like, what, 4? And he's already no, he's 2. Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah. If he was 4, he probably wouldn't have blown so many snots on his dad's hat. Like, they stopped doing so much of that when they're like 4. When they're 2, you'd be lucky you don't get pee on the back of your neck. Pro tip, by the way.
That kid is more legendary at 2 than most of us are in our entire lifetimes.
Yeah, he's got a legendarily retarded name.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
I partially blame Mom for that. I mean, I blame Dad, but I also blame Mom, who is also, like...
But if you're worth hundreds of billions of dollars, it doesn't matter if you have a stupid name.
Yeah, that's true.
He'll be fine.
That's kind of a whole thing with, like, in
fact,
like,
Sam, if you have enough money, a lot of things don't matter, including immigration law, apparently.
Yeah.
In this?
Yeah, I actually did see that, that's one of the things I actually wanted to discuss on tonight's show, and that's actually the title of our episode.
I know. I saw a perfect segue, and I just had to fucking go for it.
So, apparently,
apparently you can buy citizenship with this new gold card program.
Yeah.
And you know what, Sam? I'm going to surprise a lot of people. I think it's fucking great.
Super idea.
Well, like, look at the left's idea. Mass import the poorest people on earth. Counter? How about we minor import the richest people?
Yeah.
Just a small number of really rich people, or do we want a large number of really poor poor people.
Rumble just logged me out again, apparently. So I'll be right back.
Base.
Want the rich people?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that, like, he just, the thing about the gold card is he just kind of proposed it offhand. So it's not one of those things where there's legislation pending. He didn't sign an order on it, per se.
Right.
So it's not actually legislation, just something that he floated at just a meeting the other day. But it is, I think it's important to discuss anyway, just like Sam. But I think that a lot of people are like, oh my God, he's making it so that rich people can buy their way in. There's a couple caveats to that. And then other people are like, oh, but then China can come and buy all the stuff. And the caveat there is like, that's an easy fix. We just say that
Guardrails on it. Go figure.
they're acting like oh, well, he floated an idea off the top of his head, so it's clearly not going to have any restrictions, regulations, any limit. Right? Give me a break.
Yeah, totally no guardrails.
Yeah, so here is the clip from the conference about, I guess this was in larger relation to Trump's Gulf of America plan. So
we're going to be doing something else. It's going to be very good. We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful. Never been done before, anything like this, but it's something that we're going to be putting out over the next, would you say 2 weeks, Howard? Do you want to
2
say
weeks.
about it?
Sure.
President?
Certain amount in this country in order to qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Go
the
ahead.
EB-5 program was really, you lend some money, but it was full of nonsense, make-believe, and fraud, and it was a way to get a green card that was low priced. So the president said, rather than having this sort of ridiculous EB-5 program, we're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card, which is really a green card gold. So they'll be able to pay $5 million to the U.S. government. They'll have to go through vetting, of course. We're going to make sure they're wonderful, world-class global citizens. They can come to America. The president can give them a green card, and they can invest in America, and we can use that money to reduce our deficit. Why do we give out lotteries of green cards? Why do we give out EB-5 for green cards? The President of the United States understands that the right answer is, why don't we eliminate the deficit of the United States of America instead?
Nobody knows if you can even go to work for a company. So Apple and all these companies that want to get people to be working for them will be able to buy a card. And for the people that are number one in their class at top schools, I see that as one of the things. But generally speaking, it'll be people with money and people that create jobs. And they won't have to pay any tax on income outside of the United States, which they're not paying right now. They're not citizens. But they'll have to pay, if they create jobs in the United States, they'll pay full taxes like everybody else. So you're getting big taxpayers, big job producers, and we'll be able to sell maybe 1 million of these cards, maybe more than that. And if you add up the numbers, they're pretty good. As an example, 1 million cards would be worth $5 trillion. $5 trillion. And if you sell 10 million of the cards, that's a total of $50 trillion. Well, we have 35 trillion in debt. That'd be nice. So we'll see. It could be great. Maybe it will be fantastic. We have it all worked out from the legal standpoint. Totally legal to do. Hasn't been done before. It's been done in many different forms. We give them away. Why should we give them away? We shouldn't give them away. And I think it's something very exciting. I think it's potentially just something that we're all very excited about.
these in mass.
Again, they mentioned vetting as if there's no vetting. I will point out that there's the people that are against this. It's kind of the same sentiment. It's an anti-elitist sentiment, and I get that coming from working class background myself, and I understand the inherent, like, oh, this is obviously favors people with more money than less money. But you got to understand when you're thinking about this, what the alternative is being offered by the other party is to bring in unlimited of the
Yeah.
$5 million. Dude, he mentioned Apple buying or big companies buying these things. Yeah. $5 million for one person. $5 million each person to get them that card. First of all, it's like he said, you're gonna want the top guy in the class. You're not gonna just want any random Indian for this, okay? $5 million, that's a huge investment by a company in one piece of personnel.
Yep.
So I don't know. Do I know how this will turn out? No. What I will say this too is if you're on the fence about it or you're unsure about it, I would ask what Trump has steered wrong yet from what, like, do you have trust in him?
He's also
maybe it's another thing to trust him on, or maybe not. Maybe you don't have. I know there's a lot of people that are freaking out about like the Epstein documents that they literally said they're going to release the first batch tomorrow. And they're like, oh, the first batch. Yes, they literally have to censor the names of victims, which, as I understand it, is what Pam Bondi said. The only thing they're doing is censoring the identities of victims. And if you think that the victims deserve to have these horrible things that were done to them exposed to the whole fucking world, you're an asshole.
You're fucking sick.
Right. Or if God forbid they're no longer alive and, their families don't need.
Right.
This,
like nobody, like that's. So yes, they're going to censor the fucking victims' names. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. As far as what she said, they're not censoring perpetrators' names or any person of interest. Just the minor victims. People who keep freaking out. We're talking about children who were victimized. They do not need to release those names to you. I'm sorry. And you mentioned that some of them might not be with us, but unfortunately, as bad as that would be, unfortunately, that's not even the case. The reason they're protecting their names is that they are still with us. Almost all of them. And that they went through a horrible experience with this Epstein stuff. And I just don't think it's the whole world's business to know that about them. You can know about what happened without needing to know her name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that bothers people. They want the uncensored one, but it's totally understandable and legal for them to censor those names. They have to do that. You cannot do that to minors or minors at the time of a crime. The minor actually has to expose themselves. Bad wording. The minor has to say, I was the person. I was the victim in the case. Right?
Yeah.
You cannot do that for them. That's fucking illegal.
Yeah, they have to.
I can't believe I was just thinking about, like, because the term they use in court is exposed or like
they actually do use the term exposed in legal.
They have to come forward and say that it was me. Otherwise, if they don't want to do that, nobody should ever be forced. They have all the information on these victims already in the court file that is needed. They don't need them to publicly say this is me, because there's no one to charge. At least in the case of Epstein, you can't charge him. Now, people will ask, why aren't they going after the clients? That's an interesting fucking question. I would suggest that we wait to see what these documents say and who's listed in them before we decide what to do.
I mean, they go after John on the street, no?
I agree, and I do think these people should be gone at, but I want to wait to see what's in there.
Right, and I also want to see how people are involved too, because maybe
people are already ready to have Trump and Pam Bondi's balls over this because they said they're not putting the whole thing out right immediately.
Well, right. I also want to point out, though, this was something that a friend of the show, FX Reagan, one of the authors who I am in contact with, this is something he mentioned. If someone's name is in the book, they may be involved, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were all on the island necessarily molesting kids. This is a multi thing where someone could have just been like laundering money, Epstein, or
So there was a leak a few years ago of a black book that was Epstein's. Yeah. If you remember, Jesse from Pod Awful called some of the number, right?
I do.
And one of them was just a limo driver in New York City. Now, he got uncomfortable and ended the call and said he didn't know the guy, but we know for a fact he knew the guy. We know for a fact he was the limo driver.
Yeah.
Which is why he was listed in there twice. Does being the limo driver mean he was a witness to something? Not necessarily. Does it make him a person of interest they should talk to? Perhaps. Does it make him a criminal to have been listed in that book? No.
Right. And
that's what I mean by I want to wait. But like, I do think that there are going to be some big name people on that list who have done things. And if they don't get held to account for it, then I will start being a little upset with Pam Bondi.
Oh, sure, for sure. But
I'm all for, like, let's have some patience. We never thought we were getting any Epstein list at all. And I don't know why people get so fucking greedy and so fucking short-sighted.
Yeah. Nobody thought we were going to get any JFK documents. Nobody thought we were going to get any Doge stuff, for a long time. And
you tell me Trump's not gonna, and I say you.
Well, Max, like, this actually brings up a good point that my mom brought up. Is she said, as bad as the Biden years were, she said, and I actually happen to agree with her. She said, I think that Trump getting the election stolen from him might have actually been a good thing, because I don't think there would have been, this is her speaking, she said, I don't think there would have been as much of a fire to expose the corruption from Trump as there has been this term.
Which is exactly what me and Shmuley, right after November 5th, 2020, had the same conversation where we said maybe this is actually better for us if we can hold out. We said the next 4 years are going to be rough. I like that Biden talked about the darkest winter for that. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
It's spring now.
Yep.
The darkest winter was just his administration. He didn't just mean that one winter. It was the whole thing. And so now that it's springtime, people, they're coming out of the cold and they're looking at the flowers and they're not so fucking mad all the time and ready to tear each other's throats out. And they like America. And optimism is back in fashion, Sam. Thank God, because we've been holding the line on optimism way too long by ourselves.
Yeah, no, this is kind of also too, like, I feel like our Chauvin has kind of had like a bit of a, and I know you weren't there for the entire, first Trump presidency, but, you are part of the show, so I'm including you. But I feel like this show has kind of had kind of a rebirth and a renaissance, from, with Trump 2.0, if you want to call it that, where, we're covering the news, we're doing it in a positive and, funny way. And
right. It really started, at the very beginnings of the primary, when all the DeSantis people were going at you to try and convince you that DeSantis is the guy. And you were just like, no, obviously that's not the case. You heard them out though, more than I did. And I admittedly, I went real hard on them, but that's because I said this was a losing cause from the beginning and it's suicide for his career. And I was right on at least one of those accounts.
Oh, and by the way, Milo, for whatever reason, is still angry at Trump, because I guess
because he's a contrarian.
He's a because he's a contrarian.
He really does put the cunt in contrarian, and that's for sure.
It's such a relief to not have any of the grifters around anymore too.
And it's fine.
Yeah,
there's people doing what we're doing, but they're talking to people like we talk to people who as if they know what's going on. We have to stop ourselves to explain sometimes.
Right.
There's been a rise in the kind of grifter who all they do is read the Wikipedia article in a YouTube video. That's been popular lately. Or they rehash the whatever Fox News video or whatever Trump press conference, and they do it almost word. They all have the same script because they all use AI.
My favorite ones are the people who they literally just watch like clip shows like the Bill Maher podcast and then they do their commentary, it's like, okay, why don't I just go to Bill Maher's YouTube channel and just, watch that? I mean,
unless you have, unless there's something there, right? Like a personality or some interesting takes or something. But a lot of normies, they just like, watch a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, those people weren't the kind of people that would have been engaged with our show before anyway. So I'm not really worried about it. We kind of do have a target of people that are at least somewhat more politically aware than the average.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, also,
and then they also have to be able to put up with our bullshit. Very, very elite crowd, very smart people, wonderful, tremendous audience, Sam, the best.
Yeah, tremendous indeed.
So yeah, gold card. I wait and see, probably a good thing. Epstein list. Hey, let's wait till tomorrow before we go lynching anybody. It's one day.
Well, Max, that's the internet. Haven't you heard?
That's true.
In the social media landscape, are you kidding me, Max? Come on now. Instantly.
We have to jump to conclusions immediately. Which no one should ever do, except when it comes to buying my Max
covers, because the covers are very nice.
Covers are fucking fantastic.
Yes, including folks, Night of the Vigilante, which we are now 29 away from public.
Oh, it disappeared.
Let's fucking crazy. Go. It's the case of the disappearing book.
His fucking book is magic.
Yeah, book.
What?
My book / screen.
He made a disappearing, reappearing book. This is great. You have to buy it just for that, audience. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually I'm working on some music, and maybe we can even get together on a script for like a little commercial for when it launches.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've already gotten some early reviews from people, and that's awesome. I'm going on Travis Davis's podcast in March.
I heard it's your best book yet, Sam.
I've heard the same thing too. I'd like to think it is, and this is only one of the books that I've written this year. I've got Since the Assassin John Ryder Makes a Return summer in this, so that'll be fascinating, especially since the future of James Bond is up in the air, although it has been. I did a show on that on Monday, and really,
yeah, for anybody that didn't hear, what's the deal with that? I know, but I want, since if they missed Monday, go check it out. But what's the short version, Sam? What's up with the James Bond license?
Are worried about. I'm not expecting great
if we
results.
Get black, trans, indigenous, bond of color, then yeah, we can be pretty upset. But I bet you, like, you look at it, even Disney. Did you know Disney got rid of the content warnings on the Disney Plus?
I actually did see that.
Even Disney's backing off of woke shit now, and they were the ones I thought Disney was going to hold the line.
I thought they were too, up until I started looking at their stock and investor news and I mean, say what you will, but investors do,
they have a limit to how much money they'll let you lose.
Right.
Yeah.
No, white right now is absolute dog shit.
Yeah, we debated, at least the writers debated putting Rachel Zegler on the list of people my wife hates because she's an idiot, but the wicked bitch outdid her. So.
Yeah.
Only because of the Jesus Christ Superstar thing. Like, she was just mad about Wicked before, but when she saw that, it was like a personal attack, basically.
No, and I can actually kind of understand, because I mean, like, I loved Jesus Christ Superstar as a kid too, and for me, it wasn't even like I've seen black. I actually know black people who are like really upset by this because you like if you've ever been like in a black Baptist church, they are on fire.
Yeah, they're very,
Lord, and
very
so
faithful. That's what I'm
they-
saying is a lot of black Christians are offended because she's an atheist and she's mocking it.
That's just it. So no, it's not. It's
When are
not
they
a
gonna mo-
racism
when-
thing. It's
that they will mock you and you turn the other cheek.
Yep.
So
I'm
yeah,
tired of it.
but hey, you know, my wife can take some parting shots while she turns, right? And it's like, it's not like, dude, nobody's gonna go see that. Are you kidding me? That sounds despicable. That sounds gross. We're gonna make fun of Jesus Christ Superstar. Wow, you're real fucking edgy. Making fun of religion. That was so edgy in 2007.
Yeah, it's been done. It's been done.
Right? You guys gonna wear fedoras?
Leave it Christians.
Are they not? They're not actually gonna speak the lines and sing the songs. What they're gonna do, Sam, is they're all gonna type the script into a Reddit thread because they're fucking lame losers that don't know.
I mean, that might as well be what they do.
It's amazing. Hey, and I don't want to cancel the play. I want the play to go off. I want it to be seen. I want to get feedback on it. I want to hear what people think about it. You know what I mean? Since they're going to be putting Wicked out at the same time, this bitch is going to get double dipped. Angry mobs.
Get laughed at, Max, and you know.
No, they're not. Dude, she's fucking with two things that they're not laughing. One is women with Wicked. It's not funny to them that this is being ruined because it's the only movie that they've ever got.
Right.
Waiting for this maybe soon before that.
Yeah, 2005. Now, there are recordings of Broadway shows you can watch, but it's not a film. This is the first time this play is being adapted to film, and they're going full fucking woke with it because Ariana Grande is the producer.
Because of course.
Because of course she is. Because I'm sure she's, you know, super veteran producer at what? Is she 22 years old or whatever the fuck? Anyway.
She still looks 14.
So for women who are into the women who are, I don't even got to touch that one, Sam. Women who are into theater, it's like super offensive to them that the first version that they're getting is like subvert material, right?
Exactly.
They're pissed. They're pissed. And then
31.
But the other thing is that they wanted it. They don't care. They're willing to see it out, or they were until this bitch went online. Somebody made a version, they altered the poster to look like the original Broadway poster of Wicked, and she got mad, and she said it was racist, and anybody doing that is erasing her existence and all this shit. That's the first thing that pissed my wife off, and that's what I mean. You say, oh, she'll get laughed at. She'll get laughed at by people like us, but like the women that are actually into these musicals are not fucking laughing. They're pissed. It's like when they came for our games, boys.
Get fucking pissed. Get angry. Do it.
Yeah, they're just, look, they're gonna fuck your shit up, and at least you still got the original. In the case of Jesus Christ Superstar, you do have a film, and you could just go back to the film and ignore it. But when the only film, it's kind of like, as a Warhammer fan, I can relate that they were gonna make a show, and they're gonna like make female custodes because they can't do female space marines, but they think they can do custodes. But I disagree. But anyway, the first thing we were going to get made professionally of the IP that we like, they're going to fuck it up. We were worried about that. Same as I would say to some degree they did with The Witcher, right? They got a Witcher on the screen in
they
English.
definitely fucked it up.
And they fucked it up. And they drove him away. And
they openly mocked the source material. So,
well,
yeah.
You know,
and both Wicked and Jesus Christ Superstar have every intention of mocking the source material.
Because of course they do.
Oh yeah,
Because of course they do. Because they hate you.
Amazon does with that for a few reasons.
Right, because they already took them from you. When's the last good Bond film, Sam?
Probably the last good one was in 2000.
I did not see Skyfall. I was not impressed by what was it, Casino Royale, and I don't think I've seen any with that guy in it besides that.
Yeah, Casino Royale. Casino Royale was his first, and then
to me, the best Bond film that I remember, the last good one I remember, was not GoldenEye, but
which is actually one of my favorites.
It's like great Bond film in my opinion.
I would so yeah, it's been close to like 30 years. Then I mean,
you're not gonna get another Pierce, right?
Well, no, you're not. I think.
And if you know, with Roger Moore and Connery, like you look at all the Bonds that there have been, they didn't just go and try to recreate the same guy, but it seems like with Daniel Craig, they've been trying to recreate one.
Yes.
And that's why he comes off as because he's
Bond.
not.
And then
just my 2 cents though. I bet Bond people are like, well, you don't know what you're fucking talking about.
No, I mean I think
Bond doesn't need to be the same person. I think that's what they go with. You look at Connery and his delivery and the way, like, he has nuances that none of the other Bonds have. They didn't carry that over because they couldn't do it the way that Connery could. Same with Roger Moore. Same with Pierce Brosnan. Same with all of them.
Well, I mean, if Henry Cavill got his turn, I think that would be interesting. But
I think he's dead set on making something with giant fucking Space Marines at this point.
I mean, hey, I'm
good with it. And even though I don't know the property, I have faith in Henry that he's not going to fuck it up.
Well, see, 40K, here's the thing. Since you guys don't know 40K well, I'll give you a primer, but they can't fuck with it as much as they can fuck with other things because it gives them, on one hand, everything is canon. And the reason for that is it's all based on a board game, right? And so the idea was we're having these big wars in the fiction and you're recreating those wars. And so your battle that you had really did happen. Right. And so like, but so did everybody else's because it's like this vast universe. And the other thing is you're only seeing everything from the human perspective. They don't know everything and people lie and all of that kind of stuff. So the 40K lore is there's things that can bend and then there's things that can't bend. One of the things that can't bend is female.
And Custodes.
The reason they picked Custodes is because it's not as specific about that as Space Marines, but you're right, you're correct. But Space Marines is like, it's listed in like how they're created. Whereas Custodes, we assume they make them the same way. So the same rules would apply, but it doesn't say it outright. That's why they were going to do that. They looked for a loophole. And with the way that Warhammer lore works, it's like this. Nothing is canon. Nothing is canon.
Yeah,
so
that's actually smart, kind of.
In a way, it protects the canon from outside influences like this, but also gives them license. And where you find where lefties have entered into the Warhammer 40K space, it's through the side of chaos, the demons. They love the books about demons and Slanesh, who is the basically murder goddess of horrible rape and stuff. And they love
the fucking chaos end of things.
Yeah, they love chaos. They hate the emperor. He's a fascist and it's all a fascist universe and all this stuff. But see, they feel comfortable in it because they can view it from that lens, and Warhammer allows you to do that. There are reasons to believe the emperor made mistakes and that chaos people have a point. That's true. But of course, you know, hardcore like Antifa guys would be like, I love chaos. Oh, I play a Slaneshi army. Every fucking thing. You know what I like, guys? My army? Orcs, but secondary. The orcs is the second one because orcs are just funny. Ultramarines, the blue boys, the guys. I love them. They're great.
Yeah. Well, you notice the same thing with Star Wars. Like the lefties all have to do the whole thing of, well, are the Sith guys or
obviously the Sith code makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But they don't even use the Sith code no more. They said that's non-canon.
Yeah. I mean,
because from the Old Republic series, right? They had the Sith code and the Jedi code like opposed to each other.
Yeah.
But Disney's like, oh God, a system of morality. We can't be having that.
Now everyone's just a gray, Force user.
That's right. Because they had that in one of those games, so then let's just go all in on morally gray, guys. Everybody loves more. Nobody likes good guys anymore. Well, I keep hearing that. Nobody likes good guys and bad guys anymore. I hear that from wrestling fans. They're wrong. You want proof? Right now is more babyface heel dynamic than I've ever seen, and WWE's pulling in 5 million people a week to watch it, which is on par with in the late 90s. Yeah, I mean, people like baby faces and heels.
I mean, if nobody likes good guys and bad guys, then any book, you want to talk about book markets. I mean, indie press is taking off. So
well, morally gray was in style, but they've done it to death. It's lame now, right? You can only do everybody's morally gray. Everything is a moral conundrum for so long. When people are like, yeah, but sometimes I just like black and white, good and bad, light and dark. There's a reason Lord of the Rings is eternally popular.
The thing with morally gray characters is, and this is just from a writer's perspective, is you can write a morally gray character, but at some point they need to come to a crossroads where
they can't stay on the fence forever. Yeah.
Right. The thing with morally gray characters is you can write them well, but at some point they need to come to a crossroads where they're either good or evil.
That's very true. Yeah, they get off the fence, but they also work best surrounded by characters who are wholly good or evil.
Right.
As a contrast, like an anti-hero. If you write a story with an anti-hero, there has to be there too.
Yeah.
To show why he's he's still a hero because he's doing the right thing. But this is what the real hero would do. An anti-hero would do this instead. That's how they work the best. And same with a morally gray villain, they would be in the shadow of another villain that they would then inevitably betray, or at least be conflicted about betraying because they're morally conflicted. But it doesn't show, like if they're just a bad guy who's morally conflicted, then it's like, oh, but I didn't really want to be a bad guy. It's like, yeah, but you killed all those people, so fuck you.
Yeah.
They've just decided every character is morally gray forever, right? And their idea of morally gray is just being an asshole all the time.
Yeah.
And being snarky. Oh my God, gray equals snarky one-liner.
Also being sassy.
Yeah, sassy. Snarky. That's moral grayness right there.
It's not like good chicks can be, it's only the bad one.
Well, see, Marvel broke that because now everybody's sassy and everybody's morally gray. Even Captain America is morally gray now. Spider-Man's morally gray. I'm sorry, but unless you count the Black Suit Saga, no. Peter Parker has never been morally gray in his fucking life.
Yeah, well, and then that's a perfect point too. Is eventually Peter had a decision. That was.
But it was an external force that caused it in the first place. Peter Parker is not morally gray, but the symbiote was trying to make him so, and he had to choose. Like you said, he had to get off. He had to shit or get off the pot. He got off the pot, became a good guy. So that's the one story about him being morally gray. In what, 60 years?
Yeah.
No, Peter Parker is a hero down to his very core. He's not an anti-hero either because he follows the rules and he doesn't kill people. Like he is a hero. And to try and make him or any like Captain America, Thor, or any of these other guys morally gray, why do you think people aren't watching these fucking movies anymore? They were all popular as all shit a few years ago. People just got sick of it. It's like, no, Captain America's a good guy. Thor is a good guy. Stop with this bullshit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
They've tried it in the comics before, and it doesn't work either.
As we've said multiple times, you know, here too, the MCU ended at Endgame, pretty much.
Yeah, for most people, you know, most people, they watched that and they were like, okay, that's a conclusion to like 10 years worth of films. So, okay. And then you want them to see what happens after that. They're like, nah, that was over, dog. There's nothing new there. And they're like, oh, but everybody's snarky and sassy now. And you're like, that's not what the fuck I came to see. I came to see Hulk. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Man, they fucked up the Avengers video game, Sam. Imagine having a perfectly suited IP for a video game like that, where you have all the most famous heroes in comics, except for like Batman and Superman, on one fucking team, right? And you get to play as them and beat up endless bad guys who mean nothing.
There'd be some fuck about that.
They fucked up. Dude, you don't think my eight-year-old son at the time would have played the fuck out of a good Avengers game? Even he got sick of it.
Superheroes, that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's not even the sick of the superheroes. That game, dude, if I want, my son figured it out. He's a little kid. If I wanted to play as a weak Hulk that has to level up, are you fucking kidding me? He has, not only does Hulk, Iron Man, and Captain America have to level up to get their abilities, they have to equip gear. Otherwise, low-level thugs kick your ass. Superhero power fan at all. It's the opposite.
That's fucking stupid. And let me guess, you have to pay for those up.
No, you couldn't pay for them. They had skins you could buy, though, so they're not... I'm not saying they're blameless, but no, you had to grind it. It's worse than paying for it. You have to grind the shit out, and the game's not fun.
Yeah, so they did what they did with Gotham Knights then, where they made grinder.
I would say it's grindier than that, and the combat is better, but not by much. Avengers game, the combat is better. But then the main story is about, oh my god, the little Indian girl who becomes something, Captain Marvel or some shit.
Oh yeah, her.
And she's like a little fangirl at the beginning of the game, and it's just really cringe. It was one of the worst fucking stories I've played in a game ever.
Yeah.
You have the most popular IP in the world, and worst game impossible with it. I don't understand.
Yeah, if your son wants to play a good Avengers game, I don't know if you can even like play a copy, but Ultimate Alliance was like
it's all right for what it was. Marvel Heroes Ultimate version of that.
Yeah,
that I loved, and it got shut down. It was basically Diablo, but you could play as all the different Marvel heroes, and it was really good. You can actually play a pirate servered copy of it now. I was playing it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Pay to win shit is free because it's a pirate server.
Based.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of games, I might need to get Mortheous or somebody to help me on this. There's this demo out in the Steam Next Fest for a game called Fellowship. And I'm really enjoying it, but there's a problem, is there's not enough people playing it to form parties in a timely fashion. So what Fellowship is they took all the unfun, grindy parts of WoW out and made it a dungeon running endgame thing where you don't really level up, you get gear and you go through, here's the dungeons, and then you move up to the raids, and then you move up and get better gear. Yeah. I'm sorry?
Ship, you say?
Oh, ship. Yes. It's in Steam Next Fest right now. And I'll say this, like the UI and the game looks like a very, very clean UI of World of Warcraft after I've modded the shit out of it. That's how I make my UI look. These people put a lot of effort into it. So if you like the MMO dungeon experience, but you don't want to grind 50 hours to level up to max level, this game is all just the dungeon runs without the.
I'll look into it.
There is a grind, but the grind is as you get going through the dungeons and get better gear, right?
The grind is actually the dungeons.
Yeah, they just took the end game of WoW and just made that into a game all by itself. I think it's pretty cool. So, but I've been playing a healer, thinking I'm going to get the fastest queues, and the queues take a while. So I would figure if I give a shout out, maybe a couple other people will pick it. It's free on Steam right now. It's a demo. It's only got like, I think 10 dungeons in it. But it's
I will download it right after the show.
Awesome.
Sounds fun. So,
let's see. What
I think I've gone off on a rant this, but I think that game consoles, and particularly PlayStation, have gotten rid of backwards compatibility, because man, there are some games that I would still love to play.
You know what's awesome for that?
So they can they can sell you remakes.
Well,
yeah, but what's awesome for backwards compatibility is my Steam Deck. It plays everything up to brand new games all the way back to fucking Atari.
Yep.
Of course, my computer, but Steam Deck sounds better.
I've been looking at getting a Steam Deck.
Steam Deck is portable.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it's actually a console, so technically it's a gaming PC, but whatever. Yeah, my Steam Deck, because I was talking about it.
Oh, quit this.
I was gonna pop up a PS2 game just to flex on you, but I don't have it with me. It runs PS3 games pretty baller too, actually.
You know, someone was asking at I was actually talking to someone about this. No one believes me when I say that EA actually used to do Bond games.
Yeah, dude. Oh my, Nightfire. God, on Xbox.
Yeah,
one of my favorite games of all time. And it had a real good Bond theme song too. That night. Go Google it up, ladies and gentlemen. It's a banger of a Bond song. The Nightfire theme song. It's only from the game.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? Agent Under Fire. There was the one where you From Russia with Love was actually pretty fun.
That's the one I was thinking of. That was actually Sean Connery's last time, playing actually. And I mean they should really that's why I think video games should be preserved as an art form. Everyone keeps talking about books being as art, and movies, and gaming is in that same
form of media, and they're the newest one.
Yeah, and it really is a shame.
Yeah, I mean the hardware keeps ticking away. That's not been the same. Like books is still written on books, it's still paper. So yeah, it's just wild where video games get left behind so fast. This is why I support emulation, particularly of Nintendo systems, because fuck Nintendo, I hate them. But also PlayStation. I feel like
other companies aren't going to make new copies of games, we're gonna pirate.
If PlayStation wants to resell these games, I actually have no problem with that. But it's tough to compete with the fucking emulators. You have to actually offer something. And then this is the piracy problem in a nutshell, is most people are only pirating because they either have no access to the service, it's inconvenient, or too expensive.
Or all of the above.
Or the material that you want to get isn't available on legit services.
Yeah, that was one of them. You're trying to find hard to find material. It's like iTunes sort of solved the mass music piracy. iTunes and Spotify. Because you can get unlimited music from them essentially for free, or you get the subscription and you don't hear ads. Whereas pirating music is free without any ads, yet people choose these because it's convenient.
Yeah, well,
And it's the same with
kind of idiot proof.
It's the same with Steam and computer game piracy. When Steam came out and became popular, suddenly computer game piracy hit all.
Yeah.
There are still people who will just. The thing is the people that are just going to pirate a game that's like brand new and just to pirate it, they're just going to do that anyway. They just don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
You're still going to have that no matter what you do.
Well, like a lot of people, and yes, I know that. Oh yeah, Sam, you can just go watch a couple tutorials. But like a lot of my friends who are James Bond fans, like my guest who I had a few weeks ago, Terrence, like he and I were talking. He and I would both love to play the From Russia with Love game, but like, we don't want to have to learn code or do a bunch of stuff to play it.
I could definitely help with that, specifically to play one game, because you just get RC PS2 or PSX2, which is an emulator, and then you get a copy of the game, and then you run it. That's it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And I think there is a version of that emulator on Mac too. I'll get back to you on a PS2 emulator, Sam. I can definitely help you out with that.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that could be fun. So.
I think you got to have a controller for it to work properly, but
yeah, I have a bunch of controllers.
No, I do emulate all kinds of stuff. You know what's fun to emulate on the Steam Deck and why Nintendo's so mad is the Switch, because it's so fucking unpowerful that the Steam Deck is actually 4 times more powerful, so it runs it like with ease. You can play every Switch game on a Steam Deck.
Or is their fucking handhelds?
Yep. Switch 2 gonna be half as powerful as a Steam Deck, according to the leaked
when they should go out of their way and fucking match.
That is hilarious.
Well, they don't. I think Nintendo doesn't feel the need to, because they understand that the Steam Deck is an enthusiast market, and they're not in an enthusiast market.
They're the newbie. They're the game newbie market.
But I think if you're not a child, or if you have if you're a gamer, the obvious Steam Deck is just of the two.
Right. Exactly.
If you're a kid, or you're like a casual gamer, or you don't want to do anything yourself ever. I mean, it does most things automatically.
It's the obvious choice because it's idiot friendly.
Yeah, it's made for kids, so it'll do you right. But if you're like me and you want to play old games, well, I'll tell you, it's the screen on the Steam Deck is so good for those 2 games because it's widescreen by default, and it's like 800p, right? So it's in 720, which is the default resolution for a lot of those old systems. At least PS1, PS2, Xbox 360, PS3, they all use 720 as like a standard. And so they look really I played a couple entire PS3 games on my Steam Deck. I'm trying to think which ones. Dante's Inferno was one of them. Metal Gear Solid 4. You can just play the whole thing. And it looks just like it's supposed to, because it's in 720p, right?
Yeah.
And now we're even getting a PS4 emulator that specifically runs Bloodborne, and it's able to run on the Steam Deck fairly soon.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Sony doesn't want to. There's another case of piracy. Sony doesn't want to give PC gamers Bloodborne. We're gonna get it. It already works on an emulator on PC now.
Sony is not giving PC gamers anything.
The problem is the emulated Bloodborne runs at a whopping 30 frames per second, because that's what the PS4 runs at.
Right.
So it would be nicer to get an actual PC port of that particular game. Because I won't play 30.
60 or nothing.
Even the original Dark Souls on PC, I skipped it because it was frame locked. And you got banned if you mod that used the frame rate too.
Yep.
I played the Dark Souls remastered though. That was pretty good. But the original one was all fucked up on PC. Elden Ring on Steam Deck is a fucking killer app though. Probably the best thing to play on Steam Deck.
Nice.
Either that or indie game. I play a lot of indie games on it because it's just perfect form factor for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean I've looked at getting Steam Deck. I actually had a friend who was going to give me his because he never used it, but then that kind of fell through.
No, it's a nice little thing that I have. Like, play an indie game on the toilet, or take it camping with me is a lot of fun, or just play it in bed, just to chillax. It's a nice big screen for a portable device. I mean, the thing is, for a portable, Steam Deck is bigger than a Switch.
Yeah.
But that's why I like it. I got big hands.
Well, I mean, I like it because it's screen for a portable too. That's the thing.
It's for the price to performance. There are other more powerful handhelds out there, like the fuck is it called? I don't even remember. There's one that's way more powerful, but it's like $1,000. The Steam Deck is like it's definitely a loss leader. There's no way it's not.
Right, absolutely.
It's you can get one for the same price as a brand new Switch now, or even cheaper. Like if you get a refurb Steam Deck, I'm pretty sure it's like under 300 when they have a sale.
I gotta wait for them to go on sale.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a worthwhile little gadget. Have fun with it, and the emulation on it is killer. The thing is, the reason I even brought it up in terms of emulation, Sam, is like you're talking about guys that are like, I don't want to have to do anything. Cool thing with Steam Deck emulation is you just download this one program called EmuDeck, and it will do everything for you except put the games in. You can put the games in yourself, and it's super easy.
Right.
So it sets it all up. It gets all the artwork. So like it'll show the game box art and stuff and little video previews like a real Steam game. All of that. It does everything. Gets all your compatibility files. And all you have to do is drag and drop games into it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always great.
Yeah. And I mean, it would put the games in if that wasn't piracy, but it can't do that. So there's one thing you got to do, but it's drag and drop. It's about as easy as it gets.
Yeah, still though, it is a shame, like you said, that as far as like lost art, that game suffers the most from that.
It's because of the multiple licensing problem that games have that other forms of media have less of. Like movies have a little bit of this where they'll license and then 5 songs for the film. Right. And so keeping all of the licenses to those things is not always easy. But like, so when it passes ownership, the film's ownership passes down. Maybe they lose one of the songs along the way, things like. But with video games, they're often licensed by several different companies. This engine is licensed, and this code base is licensed. And the Havoc physics engine is licensed, and the Unity engine is licensed, and all the songs in the game are licensed, and the story of the game is licensed. You see what I'm saying? Is all of those things, if they don't have all the licenses in a row, they can't just re-release a game. And I know like gamers get pissed off about that, but that's just the fact of the industry.
Yeah, well, that's actually going back to James Bond. That's what's been That's actually why there has been a game. Why there has been a James Bond game in so long is because EA, like, they had the license and then that expired, and they
also those games have licensed music in them. Some of them are licensed to movies.
Yeah.
Some of them are licensed to independent writers. Some of them are licensed from actual original novels. Right? EA made a whole bunch of games, and every single one of them, as far as I can tell, has some licensing issues on top of just the James Bond license.
Yeah. So
EA has this problem constantly because they insist upon using copywritten popular music in all of their fucking games. And a great example of this, Sam, is if you play Grand Theft Auto 5. When that game came out, and then you played Grand Theft Auto 5, or maybe if you got like an Xbox 360 version that's not updated of GTA 5 and played the single player, the soundtrack is almost 100% different now than it was then, because they lost almost all those songs licenses.
Same with Vice City. Vice City, you literally used to be able to like play
Michael
Thriller and
Jackson's.
other songs.
Mhm.
Now you can't.
Right, unless you emulate or run the original version, right? The new versions, they took all that shit out because they could, like, do you know how much it would cost to license Thriller for a game these days? See, that's the difference too. And when they did a lot of that licensing, the licensing was cheap, is because they thought video games was a toy market.
Yep.
You see? And then all of a sudden in the 2000s, it became the largest media market in the world. They were like, and this is actually what happened.
Fucking make money.
Yeah, this is exactly what happened with the Witcher. I'm sure Mort knows this one, where he sold off the license, the original CD Projekt, for like
stupid cheap
because he's like, video games are just toys. And then he came crying back to them, you guys owe me all this money, which they didn't, but they still gave him some money and let him consult on games to be nice, but they owed him nothing. So yeah, that's another thing authors should, I think we've mentioned this before a couple times. I think when we had Andrew Nelson on, licensing your stuff, read carefully. If your book is being licensed, make sure you know what you're selling, because just like in the music industry, you might sell your original work and never get it back.
Yeah. I mentioned that to Eric Bishop too, because I guess his son is a bit of a gamer, and so saying like, yeah, he was talking about doing gaming rights for the Body Man, and I said, well, yeah, if you do that, make sure you know what you're getting into. Don't just company the entire franchise.
Yeah, and especially don't do what the Witcher author did, which is sell it for a lump sum.
Right.
You need a percentage. You need percentages. Yeah, if they're basing an entire game, movie, whatever on your story, you need royalties. If you sell it, it better be a good lump. You better not be like, oh man, it's been 5 years and I spent all that money. I wish I had more off my book, and then go, no, you need to make sure you get. The thing is, you're generating by generating a book like that, you're essentially generating the possibility for passive income for not only the rest of your life, but infinitely, right?
And it's not so much the first two games. It was Witcher 3 that it expressly exploded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The second game did okay because it was on consoles, but it wasn't a huge hit.
Right.
And then that's when he came out the woodwork. That's also when he sold the rights to a lot of people don't know the show is based on the license to his novels, not the games, which are very different.
Right.
Geralt at the end of the novels dies, and the game starts by saying, no, he didn't actually. He just lost his memories.
Right. Yeah. I had to more actually explain that to me when I started like reading the Witcher books. So.
Yeah, and that's because it makes a lot of sense for you as the player to start learning about the world. Right? So that's why they did it that way. Plus, they had to not have him dead. And then he didn't care. He gave no shits. Then he realized, though, okay, they gave me the consult money or whatever, but I can actually just sell my novel as something besides a game. And he did. He sold it as a TV rights. Part is, he wouldn't have got those TV rights from Netflix
without the fucking game.
Without the fucking game, yeah. Yeah,
because
but
if Witcher 3 isn't the fucking hit that it was or is,
they still were a little sketchy on it even when they did pick it up.
They didn't respect the fucking material.
Yeah, well, and they also didn't realize it had the fan base it had, I think. I think they were just like, oh yeah, this is more fucking Netflix original or whatever we can pick up for cheap.
Base, I don't think they realized the size of the fan base.
Yeah. Well, again, video games went from being a cheap novelty toy to being the largest mass media market on earth 10 years. In like,
yeah.
When I was a kid, video games are just for kids. There's no money in that for anybody. Companies would look at like toy companies made a lot of the competitors to the old Nintendos and stuff. You saw like Tiger and you know, all these handheld companies trying to make the next video game and fail, right? But otherwise, major corporate and multi-billion-dollar deals like we see every day now, that was Hollywood. Video games
Money,
ain't worth, and then all of a sudden they were. PS2, you know, the 360 era, somewhere in there, they suddenly became big business real fast.
Yeah.
The fucking U.S. government is being a subversive cunt about video games.
Yeah, well, they were a subversive before that, to be fair.
I agree.
I remember being a little kid and them saying that it was the worst thing ever that I played Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I remember being a kid and then saying that, like, that it was going to cause the next, like, school shooting.
That's okay. I remember that I must be a school shooter because I too played Doom, like fucking 80 million other people.
And
but
then,
the killers played Doom. If you play Doom, you're a killer. That was great logic.
Right.
It's not like there's literally 79.9 million other people that didn't do any such thing that played Doom. It's just the one guy or the two guys.
Well, yeah, no, that's the same thing as, like, you know, drank Hitler off. So therefore, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, the guys were already obsessed with killing people. I don't exactly think Doom caused that. Doom's not that violent, relatively, especially even the time that they were big on Doom. 3 was out, so it's like, which is way more violent. Now it's what, too much.
So
Quake
Quake is more violent than Doom, but, like, do you think that they were going after Doom because it had, like, recognition than Quake? Do you think that why they went?
Those kids actually played Doom and made mods.
Yeah,
that's it. Like that, it's as simple as that. But, like, again, they blamed it on music too. They said that they were Marilyn Manson fans. That's not even true. They hated KMFDM fans.
Right.
They talked shit about Marilyn Manson a lot, but it didn't stop the media from blaming him, did it? And you never heard articles like, "Oh my God, does KMFDM make you a killer?"
Well, yeah, because Marilyn Manson has some recognition. It's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing that, like, Karina Harn and I were talking about, right? Like, a few years ago when all the, like, anti-Hugh Hefner stuff came out, like, everyone was going after Hef, but no one was talking like Larry or any of those guys, because compared to Hugh Hefner, he knows who, nobody knows Hustler.
Film, but there is the people versus which won Oscars.
Well, okay, yeah, specifically.
So Zoomers don't know about the internet their whole life. I totally get that.
Yeah, but
the people versus Larry Flint was, like, especially for, like, Gen Xers, like, they'll know at least the fight, and that it was about free speech. Yeah. And then, like, millennials will remember a lot of them.
Her whole point, though, was that, like, they were basically going out just because it was, like, a popularity.
He's way more famous than them. I'm not going to dispute that. And that's why they went at it.
Yeah, that was her argument, and that's been, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not disputing anything that you're saying. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, it's just it's one of those things of, like, yeah, he's super popular. He wasn't maybe his values don't mesh with, like, modern liberalism, which is funny because the liberals loved him when he was alive.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing too, because I mean, I know this sounds cliche as fuck, but the old school left used to love Donald Trump too. until they didn't. And like what's funny is like most Gen Zers don't even know that like Ronald Reagan used to be a Democrat. Like, you know, like to me that's like Reagan 101, right? To you or I, but like, you know, to like a lot of the younger kids now, that's like a revelation. That's like so
true. Well, it's tough, you know, when you're talking about Hugh Hefner. I mean, obviously they don't mind going at celebrities posthumously. Look at the attacks on Michael Jackson. Well, whatever you think about Michael Jackson, what good does a documentary about the dead man do? Aside from help somebody who's trying to formulate a lawsuit against his estate.
Right, exactly. And this was the exact same thing, basically.
Yeah, they're just trying to clean out any generational wealth he might have built up. That's it. They went after Hugh because he. It's funny because you will see that shift in a guy like Trump, and you'll see a shift in maybe Hugh Hefner didn't live long enough to be full on Trump, but I think he would have. And here's why, Sam. I mentioned on my list of rappers Necro and Esham specifically, and they were both like talking today in a little conversation we were having about doing a collab together, because they both came through all of this shit to be kind of, if not MAGA guys, anti-woke as fuck. Right? Esham is anti-woke as fuck. He hates that shit.
Yeah.
He thinks it's ruining his community. Esham's black, as the name might imply. And Necro, who is a MAGA guy, right? Here's why. And they both create types of hip hop that are very controversial, edgy, and they've both had attempts to be censored. This is going to be a recurring thing. A guy like me comes over to being a Trump guy because I got sick of being censored. Guys like Necro, guys like Esham, we get sick of being censored. You find that then it's not even I am not on the left kind of sentiment. It's like I like free speech and you don't. And they don't even a lot of times realize that it's the left that they're fighting with way later.
Well, and then
fighting the right about censorship, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and
now it seems like we're going back a little ways because.
Yeah. Well, and then often what you find too is that like the left that wants to censor is in agreement with the right that wants to censor, like for different reasons, if that makes.
Or sometimes the same reason, because you're just opposed to the uniparty. I got censored by both sides for that quick.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like all these wasteful programs. Again, Republicans taking a lap. That's great. Half the people in the Congress on the Republican side are just as mad about U.S. aid being ended and Doge and all that as the fucking lefties, because they all had their hands in the fucking pot too.
Yeah, again, going back to, you know, the conversation I had with my mom about, you know, this era of Trump being, you know, an era of healing, you know, she pointed out that, you know, the reason why we never heard any of this, you know, during the Bush administrations, either of them, is because the Bushes had their hands in the. You can be damn sure.
Well, you just look at where's Obama's connections. They're all in like green energy fields and stuff like that. And those are the people he gave the most money to. And then you look at Bush's contacts and the people around him. And wouldn't you know it, they're all in the defense industry. And they got all those contracts because of the wars with an S. Yeah, it was for profit. Yeah, my good friends, maybe some of y'all's friends, maybe some family members, they were killed in Iraq. And as far as Bush was concerned, it was for fucking profit in his pocket or his friend. Yeah. And he's a war criminal, and he's going to burn in hell for it.
For the betterment of the elite and not the actual country.
And and a lot of those holdovers from his team, a lot of those people that were just right there, ready to steal from you then, are there now. You know, speaking unrelated of people on the right that I don't like, but sort of unrelated. Did you see Eye Patch wants to kill Tucker?
I did see that.
Crenshaw?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, Crenshaw is a piece of shit.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I'm not even like as much of a Tucker some other dudes are.
You're a fucking member of Congress. Shut up. Don't make death threat. I don't care if you thought he was off the record or whatever. You don't make death threats. You're fucking. Oh, we're all supposed to believe he's so tough because he wears his eye patch to make sure that we all know he's a bitch. He is a snippy that goes behind people's backs and talks a lot of shit. I don't care how much fucking service he's done, and I don't care that he was wounded in service to this country. Like, thank you for your service, but that doesn't give you anything over anybody else, and it certainly doesn't allow you to make threats upon civilians.
Yeah,
we should that 1v1 versus Hassan.
He's one of those veterans. He's one of those veterans that everybody that like other veterans hate because they always bring up the I'm a veteran, bro, to like avoid any sort of actual like argument or debate.
Here's my evidence that's what he's doing. They have glass eyes you can wear.
Yep.
He wears an eye patch on purpose to make sure that you see it at every moment that he's out.
He wears an eye patch because it's an image thing, right? Like,
that's what I said. He doesn't need it. He could put a glass eye in and nobody would think twice about it. He's doing it on purpose to look like a tough guy, and then he wants to talk shit like that. But I'm telling you, I don't want to quote we were talking about, damn, it feels good to be a gangster. I'm pretty sure there's a comment in there that I can't say verbatim about real gangsta ass motherfuckers don't need to body because they know they real gangsta ass motherfuckers, except that's not what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we were talking about that, and supposedly I'm supposed to like be commenting out some sort of I'm supposed to be disavowing someone for something, but I don't know. Everyone in our cool, so
Yeah, I mean, we don't make a habit of disavowing people. Vowing, not exactly a thing we do. Was the thing that was done funny? It's hard to disavow if it's.
I mean, yes.
Oh well, then I avow things that are funny.
As do I. No. Even if they go over other people's heads, which
did maybe somebody, I don't know, do a joke that people thought was a little over the line, and they want you of all people. They know you watch Awful, right? Like they want to talk about over the line, bro. Sometimes the henchmen go a little far, and it's way farther than what we're talking about.
Yeah.
How much cement they send Mersh? 3 tons?
3 tons? That's impressive.
Well, they sent him 1 ton, and then about a couple weeks ago, they sent him 2 more tons of quick concrete. Oh, but that's bad troll. Oh, we're gonna troll police. Fucking funny.
The people who are troll policing. I mean, comedy. They're the same people who say comedy is subjective and then like cry, when someone does something that isn't.
I mean, I like pranks, Sam. I don't know if people notice this. I'm driving a truck of shit right this moment to somebody's house. Can't you tell? I'm so super duper serious, Sam. You should take this seriously.
Speaking of things that are super duper serious, piece of shit trolled DSP into buying WWE trading cards.
That's a great investment.
Right?
Wait, did something actually, like good?
Kind of fucking funny.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to double check because he's very like the only thing really funny about PPP, as far as I can tell, is we'll have to double check that.
I will find you gentlemen in the clip, but he actually got DSP to buy the WWE trading cards. It's funny.
PPP.
And now they're on the same fucking show sometimes.
That's hard because he's so fucking fat. Is it just because they had P and 3 letters in the name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because, like, PP... I mean, dude, he makes John Candy look skinny.
That
PPP so fat, I tried to run circles around him, but I got tired.
Yeah.
Even
the
so fat-
Pillsbury Doughboy thought it was a bit too doughy.
That's right, but if you push his stomach, he goes, hoo-hoo. It's true. Chat, you can try that for yourself. If you push on PPP's stomach, he always goes hoo-hoo. It's a fact. I know people didn't know this.
Yeah, that's not something I'm like.
We were supposed to be shitting on DSP for this, and the whole time has just been us making fun of how fat PPP is. But I do have the point out trolling him into it's kind of funny. But PPP is very fat. Get help, my man.
Yeah, see that's the other thing too. Is like people are always like, oh, well, you're crippled, and it's like, yeah, that's not something I can help necessarily.
That's right. I wouldn't tell you to get help for that. Right? I'm pretty sure there's nothing you can do about that.
If you care, it's in our chat.
If someone did tell us, if someone did tell Morai to get help for being crippled, my response would be like, I've tried.
Do you have a direct line to Elon for me then?
Like, yeah, you guys, cool. You think there's a cure? Well, hook me up.
Yeah.
But fat, for a guy his age, he's what, maybe 30? A little older?
No, he's 28. He's younger than I am.
PPP, all jokes aside, if you ever see this, you won't because Andy has me blocked like a fucking bitch. But I was 40 or 39 years old and I lost 150 pounds. You're not even 30 yet. You do not want to enter middle age that fat because you're not going to leave middle age and to any further than that. Your heart's going to stop. Bro, get help. Yeah. Go run. That's what I do. I mean, I lost 150 pounds, so I think I have an insight to say you can do it too, sir. And if you don't,
help him just to start off.
PPP makes Jabba the Hutt look skinny.
I mean, hefty in his day, but he's looking kind of slim now.
He still has man tits, though.
Yeah, well, you'll never get rid of those. That's because it's not even fat at a certain point. It's just fucking flabby skin hanging no matter what you lose. But you don't have to have the fat part. You can still have just the skin.
Right.
It's still healthier for you. But also, DSP is just an idiot. So I guess it balances out. I don't know. Would you rather be fat and mildly smart or dumb and mildly not fat?
I'd rather have some brains.
Yeah,
hey, you can get rid of fat. You can't fix stupid.
Facts.
Oh my, we figured it. Okay. So DSP, PPP, then but not by much.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah.
Because at least PPP can kind of fix himself.
Yeah. You can put the fork down and take a lap, and it'll be all right.
And do those push-ups that DSP refuses to fucking do.
Well, he ain't doing push-ups. That bro's like 400 pounds.
He can do push-ups after he loses the weight.
It's all about willpower at the end of the day.
Yeah, but like Canada's not used to.
No, they're not.
This has become the make fun of PPP for being fat show.
Yeah, well, Canada's not used to earthquakes, and they're also not used to, fending for themselves either.
You know what? I feel bad, Sam. I'm not going to talk about how fat he is anymore. Let's talk about the fact that he's not funny.
I mean,
being loud equals funny.
Am I?
Yeah, him and Andy also doing the.
Whoa, buddy!
Yeah, him and Andy doing the something chat for $1,000. Whoa!
Somebody donate us $1,000. I'll scream like that too. Okay? Is that what you guys like? Sure.
Yeah. Donate $1,000. We'll both like.
But I have to be the PPP.
Donate $1,000 and you might see Mort's face.
I have to do the PPP just like screaming incoherently, and then you got to do the whoa, buddy.
I feel like, yeah, whoa, buddy. I feel like at $1,000, like Mort would be so shocked he would have just for the shock.
Yeah, it's the school of Dick Masterson comedy. If you yell anywhere, funny automatically, right?
Yeah, well, I saw that episode of Pod Awful.
Hold on, Sam. Let me try that again. That joke didn't land well enough, so let me try that again. It's Masterson School of Comedy. It's automatically funny. I got a little chuckle that time. Okay. I guess it's true. If you yell, it's funnier.
Yeah, it's funny because the audience, why, they're like, why is this clown just yelling?
Well, I know, and it works for those guys, so surely this is the ticket, Sam. I'm just gonna yell every episode, and I guess yelling angrily like my wife did last week is not the ticket, so I'll just yell confusedly like they do. And that surely makes content, right? What else do they do? Let's see, watch clips. We don't do nearly enough of that. We talk way too much. What are we doing trying to be entertaining, Sam? We should let other people entertain it and just watch them.
We don't
That's
like
what's hot now.
We don't try and hit on people in chat either.
You are not the hottest in the Discord, Sam.
Pretty sure I saw you flirting with Roman in chat before, but
he, that wasn't me hitting on him. That was him.
I said flirt. But yeah, no, like obviously you're not like, oh my God, Roman, you're the most beautiful girl in the Discord.
I wouldn't even say that to Matt. And if I did, she would laugh probably.
I'm making fun of the reaction thing, Sam, but I'm probably gonna end up doing some of that and just like watch Trump streams and fucking, because it seems like people don't want you to try hard and make funnies and be entertaining. They somebody else to do it and you to just say, oh, yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, listen, we could do Trump reaction streams, but like the thing with me is I have to pause and commentate on said streams, and people.
You ever watched Cringing Over Coffee? We watch a 5-minute Dave video. It takes 3 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, how long did it take for us to watch like a 15-minute JD Van? It took us 3 hours to watch a 15-minute JD Van last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
it's so easy for us to add to it that I figured just watching other people shit and being lazy, at least I know I won't be as lazy as them.
Yeah, I mean,
Medicare masochist with $10 bajillion said, "You guys are the best thing I've ever seen." Oh my God.
Yeah.
God, I hate street culture, Sam. It's just ruined what we love, which is radio.
So do I. I honestly, yeah, I hate it too.
But, I mean, we can yell. That's what you guys want. We'll yell. What else is hot with the kids? We should put up like random mobile game on the side for the people that don't have a fucking attention span. And what else do they like nowadays? Oh, we should speak in nothing but Zoomer speak at all times. And we have to use YouTuber voice. And yeah, Maxine pointed out that Sam needs to do like a TikTok dance. And then we'll get millions.
Well, Matt, if we do that, then this channel will really be cooking hard, fam.
Hey guys,
for real.
Welcome to the show.
All I know is
today we're gonna read Wikipedia articles. Fucking original content.
Yeah.
Every YouTuber that's from the fucking world just blown out by that one, by the way. Bros, stop reading Wikipedia. Make a fucking video. Goddamn.
This video brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
That's right. Take all the sponsors. Crypto, fucking whatever, gambling. No, we're not doing either of those. Yeah, no crypto. And I wouldn't want to advertise gambling.
Not even gotcha
No.
games.
Raid Shadow Legends we will take, though. I hear they pay good.
They pay stupid good.
Yeah.
And then it never works. Like, nobody goes and plays that game because it's a meme now, but it has to work. I'm full of shit. They have to rake in money. There's
It's always
ads
been
are
a
everywhere.
meme.
Thought we had a video,
Yeah.
Sam. Did we get sidetracked making fun of PPP? He is fat. Did you know this? Have you heard about this? Have you seen?
Well, I
don't
we
think
did
he
play
has
the video
quad
earlier of-
Like Ralph? I'm willing to bet that his tits are like one of them is bigger than all four of Ralph's.
Yeah, and I don't think I had a video. I played the the one with Trump, the gold card thing from
Okay, I'm just
right.
He is fat though, PPP.
Yeah, totally.
Also, I love how we both said we're not going to talk about that certain thing, and then we totally just went off about it for like 15 minutes. Still haven't named any names, but you know.
Yeah, well, the people who are dead set on it, they'll since they do nothing but sit for 6 hours and watch streams for a total of like 3 people, they can sit there and watch this. So
Yeah, I love their impression of how their stream sounds, where you talk as slowly as possible and stop in between words. Because that's exactly what their stream is. Low energy.
yeah, no,
between the words, because they're not quick on their feet, and also they don't know what funny is, because yes, saying I'm gonna drive a truck of horse shit to your house, it's pretty funny, especially if you believe me. My God, like if you don't believe me, then it's not even all that funny, right? Well, if you sue me over it, well, that's funny.
Yeah, and also what they don't get is that Alan driving a horse revenue just
You named him. Yeah, we shout out for the homies though. So
we do. Hashtag Alan did nothing wrong. We will stand by on that hill.
Hashtag shit trucks are funny. Also, they call it a fertilizer truck. They keep saying this, right? To make it sound, and if you listen to the girl on the street, like, it's obvious the bomb. It means it's a truck full of horse shit, lady. Fucking city people. Do they think that the truck of horse shit is like covered and like enclosed? Do you know what you do to get a truck full of horse shit, Sam? You take a shovel, you open the back of the truck, and you shovel the shit in, and then you put a top over it. That's what he was basically driving. Was a big truck full of shit. It's not a bomb. It can't explode. It's a big pile of horse feces. If you think that's a threat, you are retarded.
Wait, so got a big truck and then just filled it high with Joe Biden signs?
That's right. He filled it with Kamala Harris campaign promises.
Well, you said a truck full of shit.
It was full of Nancy Pelosi, everything she's ever said.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, come on. Like, also, he's the guy that's famous for saying, I'm going to drive to Benjamin's house, and then not doing it. And what did he do? He said, I'm going to drive this shit to Owen Benjamin's house, and then didn't do it.
Also, like, I want to point out, since we've already named names, the only reason why he did that was because Owen's goons were, like, saying that they went to my house and, like, harm me, right?
The original one. This time, he just did it because it was funny.
Yeah.
And this time, he added the truck full of horse shit, which I think makes it magically funny, actually.
Well, he's done different variations on the right because
Yeah, it's almost like he's done this a bunch of times, and that it was funny every time, and he's escalated it too, because now of course, like if you've watched our show long enough, you know that Alan's been on this, kind of blown up the spot on this. He drives trucks as part of his job. He drives a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure he was driving a truck full of shit and thought it would be very funny to say, I'm going to drive a truck full of shit to his house. And then, as he always does, dude.
No, of course.
And then, oh my God, he's going to drive a bar. No, it was poop. It was poop, lady. Shit. Fecal material. I'll tell you what, girl, you go ahead and you take yourself some horse shit and you prove to me that you could make it into a bomb. Yeah, he's got like 1,000 pounds of horse shit. I'm so worried that that's fucking going to blow up.
Well, Owen doesn't already need anymore.
Well, that's why it's horse shit. He's already full up on the, bull stuff. Needed a new variety. And also,
yeah,
if it's a bomb, Sam, imagine the smell.
A shit bomb? That would
a
be
shit
like...
bomb. This lady thinks that Alan Powell is a supervillain unleashing shit bombs on some fucking wackadoodle from the internet. Yeah, okay. Alan Powell is a super.
You know what? You know what? I could totally. That's something that like Pod Awful would do. Maybe.
True, and that's the other thing is he's a Pod Awful homie. He's a Whitfield Report homie. Like we ain't leaving. Like we're gonna disavow Alan Powell because some girl thinks his joke isn't funny. Look. Here's my thing about their video, and we still haven't said their name, so it's fine. But like, here's my thing about your video, girl and guy. You spent 40 minutes or so making fun of Alan Powell's face that you took a still frame of. Here's a couple things. One, me and you, Sam, always making funny faces, jokes, being animated. They could take a screenshot of any point. Either one of us looks stupid because that's what being on face cam is. So you're just taking it out of context screenshot and saying, oh, look at him. He looks like a psycho. So stupid. He was making a funny face in the fucking picture they used too. But then further than that, none of you are fucking face cam people. So maybe you should be careful saying how ugly motherfuckers are, okay? Because if you're a face cam person, or even, sorry, if you're not a face cam person, and you're sitting there just ripping for 40 minutes on somebody who is normal looking as hell, hey, normal looking guy, be prepared that everybody assumes that you're fat and ugly, right? And that's why you don't show yourself. And that's not always the case. People got their reasons. And like I said, I support people being anonymous. However, this is the kind of problem that you run into. You don't want to
I'm anonymous, but do I shit on somebody's looks? No.
Well, certainly not spending 40 minutes of your time talking, oh, look at his ugly face, oh, eyes, and all this stuff. Look at his eyes.
I'll make fun of the DSP for being fucking stupid, but that's it.
And then I go look at her Twitter, and it's literally all like a shrine to AP. Like every tweet she's ever made it's not even about Owen Benjamin. It's about him. She's obsessed with him. And every time Alan, she calls him a troll, Powell, like that's a good nickname. She says it so much as to do it to death. Nickname. And it's how about Ms. Bad nickname Liz? Fucking retard. Bad troll.
Yeah. Well,
bad troll. You're a bad troll.
I just, well, I mean, yeah.
Bad for do. When Sheriff Liz comes, police, as you know.
Yeah, I mean, and then she was trying to kind of like suck up to me and be like, well, did something to fight Owen Benjamin, and it's like, no, I just laughed at the guy. I did the same thing that everyone else did really.
You did the same thing that you did to Mersh. Left to make a fool of himself and laugh. Yeah, that's not fighting back. Actually, I would say I think
Alan
it's a fair
did more
statement
to
to say
fuck-
with Owen than you ever did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't downplay it. He's in that guy's head.
I was just friends with people who Owen didn't like.
Yeah.
And that's how his whole beef with me started. Same thing with Mersh. I suddenly had on a guy who he didn't like, and instead of going at that person, Mersh decided to go after me. Which, by the way, like, Mersh and Owen are now, like, I wouldn't say they're friends, but they're like, they go on each other's shows, so
Of course, all the losers do now, like Ethan, Ralph, and them. They've have their own little loser club, right? That's
Yeah.
fine. I'm sure Ricardo will be a part of it too. It's like the local loser club. They can do whatever they want. And the thing is these people thought you were way more invested in Owen Benjamin than you've ever been. We sit here and we do our show. I don't know what he's fucking up to. I didn't even know who he was until you explained your history with him, and I looked into it. And AP comes on. He's been on the show how many times?
Yeah, and I haven't.
He's our most repeated guest since I started.
Yeah. Well, and the only reason I even brought it up to you was because people were DMing me, and I didn't even know Owen betting that he was still streaming at all.
I couldn't even tell if that's the case or not. They're just mad at AP. Like, her whole thing isn't about Owen anymore. It doesn't seem like it. She's just obsessed with him. Creepy.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah,
she needed, that's what it is the Owen thing kind of fell off a cliff. She needs content. But here's the problem is that might make sense if she had a large following. But she's been doing this for years, and she's got like 100 followers on Twitter, and like 2 people a day watch her stream. Nobody cares what she thinks. We shouldn't even be bothering to talk about it, but I found it very funny that people want to troll.
And then
show me something he does that I actually have a problem with. Otherwise, shut up.
Well, you might have a problem with the fact that he does videos where he goes to the range. Wait, no, that's totally based. Cool.
He killed anybody.
Well, I mean,
is he accused of some kind of disgusting crime, sex crime? No.
Hold on. He's a
true. Serious. That's very serious stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're outside the U.S., I can understand why people why they might have that
be an out. Yeah, he'd been outlawing hurt feelings. Yeah. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Apparently, these people want it to be illegal here too. No, saying I'm taking a truck full of horse shit to your home is legal. Sorry. Well, I guess we'll see in the court case. It'll totally play. They're to put him in Alan Powell in jail for 1,000 years for this. Obviously, he's a bad troll, don't you know? It's the worst thing ever. Worst thing ever on the internet. Just crazy about it, right?
Especially during the Trump administration too.
She calling on you to fucking disavow him because she got no fucking endorsements from anybody.
Yeah, and then the fact that I wasn't gonna do it, they were like, "Well, then I'll talk to your co-host," and I was like, "Okay."
Newsflash, bitch, we're not disavowing anything.
First off, like, you don't know, and if you don't know anything about the Owen, stuff really, so like, I would imagine. I mean, you do since I've explained some of it, but like, imagine you didn't and tried to explain Owen to you. You would just be like,
the lolcow obsessed people never understand all of the story for all.
They're crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I get into it with like my Dave lore, right? But I understand that what is actually happening here is we're looking at a crazy person, And the lore just makes it funnier and funnier as I explain parts of Dave. That's what makes Dave so great, is his lore fills in all the pieces to the point where it's very funny. But the lore of every locale is just that. They made a bunch of bad decisions. They did stupid things. It's not people think. Where interesting is, unless you're obsessed with that same locale, no one's going to watch a 4-hour stream about it, actually, for the people that are, and there's a very small number of them.
Right. And
especially for Owen, because like you said, I'm not even sure, so there's not much to talk about if that's the case.
No.
And so they got to fill time somehow, and so it's like, oh well, let's go after AP. I'll tell you, I sent you a song when we were talking about this, and I just want to bump heads. That's just not a good idea. But you guys want to go at AP? Hey, I mean, he can deal with that to disavow fucking nothing.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? Oh, they support him. This thing doing this. I support him being. He's his own man.
Yeah, I support him being funny. And by the way, I do think the horseman manure thing is funny.
We don't control our friends. We don't control our fans.
This is the other thing too you mentioned. That I'd like to clarify. He's a gun guy. He's not a bomb guy. There's a big difference. You know, I know that some people read The Punisher, and so they think that like gun guys are also bomb guys, but that's only comic book in like logic.
But even if you're a bomb guy, making a bomb out of a truck full of 1,000 pounds of shit would be quite the task.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody could do it. Maybe harm the methane. I don't know. Right? There's probably a way that you could make a shit bomb, but I'm pretty sure AP is not doing that. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know how to do that. I'm pretty sure it never even occurred to him.
You know what though? Like if someone did figure out how to, this is hypothetically, if someone did figure out to make a shit bomb, I can guarantee you that Trump would be like, can we send those over to the middle, over to like, you know, ISIS or I don't know who, or no, over to like the cartels.
And does the shit bomb splatter? Because if it splatters, it might be funny.
What's a more renewable resource than shit?
Yeah.
I think we're on to something. I think Alan Powell just cracked the code, and we need to start basing our entire military operation. Because if shit is as powerful as she's saying as an explosive, then not only do we need to harness it for our bombs, we should be harnessing it for our bullets too, right? Little packages of shit at the back of them that when the hammer hits it, the poop explodes. That would save so much money on gunpowder, because obviously it's very dangerous feces. Yeah. Ms. Liz, grow up.
Yep.
We should have Alan on in the near future just for this reason, just because this. I could tell it annoyed you as much as it annoyed me that people want you to say certain things.
Yeah, we'll partially like, too, because like, I'm so past the Owen stuff that it's like.
But I didn't know about it as your co-host for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I had an idea you had crossed paths with this guy at some point, but otherwise I didn't know who he was. I didn't know all the crazy shit about him. I didn't fucking care. But I have met AP on here, and I mean, even in our chats and stuff, and he's a funny motherfucker.
Yeah, I think AP was coming on the host on the, you know, he was in chat like back when you first took over, and we hadn't even covered the merch
He
we,
needs
lo-
to
we
reboot.
lost the Sam again. Oh no.
God,
The robot
what
got
are we
him.
gonna do without Sam? It's all over. We're fucked now.
I'm.
My God. Oh, thank God.
You know why? But anyway.
Yeah, but he had that neon merch sign. We talked about some of the stuff with that. We should just have him on just to talk, just to catch up. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh no, but we're supposed to disavow him and say how bad he is, say how awful everything is, and you're supposed to be on the right side of things.
Well, I mean, I voted for Trump, so I already kind of am. That's the way I see it.
We also find that stuff much more interesting, and notice that was what we talked about first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, all the people who are flipping out about A, they're also flipping out about the Trump card thing too, which, like, honestly, like, that's not even that big of a news thing. It's just an idea that, like, popped into Trump's head, and
it's 24-hour news cycle bullshit. That's what
Yeah.
it is. They need something to be mad about all the time, especially people who are contrarians. Like, they're on the Trump side, but they like to see themselves as, I have the hottest take of them all. So then everything Trump says, they're going to be like, he's not doing, and I don't care. I honestly don't care about anything anymore. We haven't been listening to them for the whole time I've been on this show. The contrarians told us that this is the only way. Trump can't win, they said.
Yeah, well, contrarians also told us too that, like, that Biden would have to win the White House again. That somehow that, like, we would win in 2024, and now Max is frozen.
The robots got Max. They needed a giant.
I guess the internet gods are coming for all of us now, huh?
Fucking Lee, holy shit. Oh yeah. Sunday night, 10 p.m. Bits and Bones.
Yeah, I know. I'll be sure to be there for that one this time.
Much appreciated.
I was having internet issues Sunday as well, which was wild.
Unfortunately, that happens.
Anywho, we will wait for the giant to come back, but other than that, I think we're pretty close to wrapping up. Any final thoughts on various things? What do you think about the whole James Bond thing more?
It'll definitely be interesting to see what Amazon does here going forward for the sake of fans like yourself. I hope they don't fuck it up. I'm more of a fringe on the edge fan. I like James Bond movies, but I'm not emotionally invested the way you are.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that. I do think, though, it would kind of be cool.
For the sake of the fans, I hope they don't fuck it up.
Yeah, it would kind of be cool for me if Henry Cavill did in fact get cast as James Bond, just because, like, he has been in so many franchises that we both do.
Right. And honestly, if Henry does get cast as James Bond, that would make me more interested in seeing where they go.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can tell you that Cavill has the look of Bond that's, like, closest to the books, even more so than Sean Connery.
Oh, nice.
Although really, like, Timothy Dalton is probably the most, like, book accurate Bond so far, and I think Henry Cavill did say that Dalton was his favorite Bond growing up, so I think that would be I think that would be good if that were to happen.
That's cool.
But we will see for sure. at this point, there's really no news to report on. It's just a bunch of speculation and rumor. But anyway, so Bits and Bones Sunday night.
Bits and Bones on Sunday. There's been some studio closures already this week, so we'll probably be talking about that.
Terrific. And then Sandwich Makers on Saturday night, and that ought to be good. And let me just check here. Max sent me a message, so I suppose then we'll wrap up the show then, Mortheous. Yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Sorry we started the show a bit late. It kind of seems that everyone's internet has been down. Mine went down right before the show, hence why we were late, and now Max's internet went down, so I guess that
Giving offense is essential?
kind of night, but yeah, giving offense is essential, and that's our job here at Right to Media. So thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless, God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.